Okay, because, yep, you're recording.
I'm recording. All right. Well, thank y'all for being here and being patient with me. I apologize, Dr. Church, when you're seeing this, we do not see my face and we do not know why. But unfortunately for all of you, you have to hear my voice. So here we go. Um, I will start with Janie's, if that's okay. And Janie, what I said about yours is that I thought the task content was aligned with the course content. I love how you showed evidence of integrating across the curriculum so that the students would get a variety of instruction in their focus, area of bias. The rubric strength, you gave sufficient detailed information, and I was able to follow what the purpose of your action plan was and how you would be implementing it. You clearly define who will be doing what. The weaknesses, I said I did not see an appendix section in your paper. Also check the references should be on a separate page. That could be how it come across to me though. And since I'm not teaching your grade level, it would be helpful if you would explain like what AVID, map test scores, SC ready and buzzwords are. I pretty much gathered what it was, but if I, hadn't been talking to you guys, I might not would have known. Um, and you may, I said, want to add a little more detail to the issues concerning diversity. In leadership, you specifically state your role, and it's clearly defined throughout your whole paper. There was just under the strategies for sustained growth, instead of that we has I would have been it was some kind of error underneath there I would check. Um, I would be that we have or something was underneath there. It just didn't quite sound quite right. And again, it may be because I was reading it late and I was tired, but overall, the flow of your paper was well organized and overall easy to follow. And just double check too on your reference cited like 2002. I know Bullis called me out on one that I really liked. He said, but find it more updated. And I had to go back and look. So that was the only thing that I would have suggested for yours. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
You're so welcome. And Chad, I hope you were able to get that picture I sent you and of yours. Yes, sorry. But I put for yours, I love how you began your paper with the quote that your content was in alignment with the course and appropriate. Great appendix and well cited throughout the paper. It was just well thought out and organized, great resources. And during my research, I also viewed the work of Hattie and Donahue, so I thought that was really cool. Um, and as far as weaknesses, I would explain what white access was, like you did the ESSA. Um, and should you put a little more under the diversity piece? Because I thought they were, kind of wanting us to stretch it out to each type of diversity need or special need. Um, and that was just according to the helpful hints that I was looking at, just a thought. Of course, your leadership is very evident throughout your paper. I did not notice really any grammatical errors. Um, and your paper overall was well written and subheadings were clear and easy to locate. And your APA format and text citations appear correct. It was pretty great, good paper. Lots of great research.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any questions?
Nope,
Okay.
none. Good to go.
All right. Who would like to go next?
I can go.
Okay.
So I'll start with you, Christy. The content was very well put together. I know that you stated that you still needed to do your appendix and some other things. Maybe add some more about your leadership just so it shows what you're doing. Your goals are very well written, and I know what is expected of the PLC team. I thought that was a very good strength of yours. It was very aligned with exactly what y'all were doing and the plan that y'all had together. for the alignment with the student learning outcomes, it does not have to be research-based. It should be about how your action plan works for the pressing need. I think in the role section, you need a little more specific.
Okay,
To be honest with you, I hadn't looked at it since I sent you this the other day.
I understand.
I think you need to make sure that you're stating what you're doing in each section, just to come across as a leader. In the sections that you were stating, you know, what you were exactly doing, it was very obvious that you were the leader. But I think there was 1 or 2 sections that you didn't use like I. And the reason I say that is because Bullis called me out on it in one of
Yeah,
so I know that that's something he's looking for. So I just
yes, ma'am.
out with that because I know I was like, well, I thought I did it. So
I know.
I think, and it could be like you had with me with just the reference page stuff moving funky once it got sent in an email.
Yeah,
You had a subheading on the first page,
yes, ma'am.
title page. So I would just make sure, see if it may, like I said, just be how it was sent to me.
Yeah.
Is there any questions?
No, I think I know what you meant about the PLC. Like I was listing, the PLC is, was the teachers and I and stuff. So I just need to verify, my PLC team, the teachers, blah, blah, blah. These are our roles. So I understood what you meant. I've actually already corrected that part. So, yes, I understood. Thank you.
You're welcome. Cynthia, the content is aligned with the rubric and I'm able to see your work with the teachers and turning what you have learned into action. Your strength for task 4 was actually your total action plan. It was very well put together. You had achievable goals and established who would be responsible for each grade level and task. And I know for y'all in an elementary school setting, it's different. So you need to have it broken down into that grade level situation. Weakness, I actually kind of struggled with this one. That's why I think it's a little wordy when I sent it to you. And it was that in one spot it said a 2.5 and in the other it said a 2. And I know that's just nitpicky, but like I said, I was really struggling to find a weakness. You did really well with this, I thought. So I guess that's just where I was at with how are you going to deem them successful if you have 2 different numbers. But like I said, it was so well done that I felt being like I was being petty, picking something out. And then your leadership was very obvious in your writing and in your appendix. Your appendix was very useful. I liked looking at your appendix. It kind of gave me some ideas that, I need to make sure that I'm including. There was, with the flow, the only thing I saw was that you interchanged ESOL and ELL. And I mean, we both know in the education world that it's the same thing, but I don't know if somebody will say something about interchanging the 2 of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so in my school we call our ESOL teachers ESOL, but then some of the research that I used in previous papers were would say ELL.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I should change ELL to ESOL, but in our school, I don't really know. So,
because when I grew up, the school I grew up in, which is like at the northern part of the state, we called it ESOL or ESOL. And then the district I work in, they call it ELL. And it took me a while to get the fact that it's the same thing, just a different name. I think you could use either one.
Okay. I'll probably ask one of them about it, which one, because it's not that I don't care about changing it. It's just her title is ESOL teacher. So,
right.
But if I have a direct quote, it is ELL students.
Right.
So I don't know, maybe I should in my paper distinguish the difference or make it known that it's the same thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll ask somebody, I guess.
Sorry.
No, it makes sense. It makes perfect sense. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any questions?
No.
Good then.
No, thank you though.
You're welcome.
All right, I guess I'll go next. Let's go ahead and see who I have already pulled up. I guess I will start with, wait, I got it pulled up. Okay, I will start with you, Janie. First, please forgive me because when I sent it to you, I think I sent it and I was like halfway sleeping. So there's like 2 boxes that didn't have anything in them. But I meant to put something in them. So I did think your content was aligned to your task, and I resent it to you. I did think that you were able to show that you understood the task of actually forming an action plan and knowing that it was something that was a living document, so it's something that was supposed to be changed if need be. You very clearly showed that. So as far as your strength, I felt like you showed that you understood the purpose of an action plan, pretty much the same thing as the content. You showed many ways you could build efficacy by creating the Google Drive for resources for teachers, which I thought was a fantastic idea. I think a lot of times teachers immediately want to draw back and pull back because if they feel like they have to do extra work. So I feel like by doing that, that really showed that you kind of know the type of teachers you have in your building. That also showed that you were willing to step up a little bit more and help them to kind of push your action plan a little bit further and make everybody more willing to accept it. Because if you tell a teacher, well, all the work has been done, I already have the resources, they're more willing than to say, well, you have to find the resources yourself. I think I was a little bit confused because I didn't really understand what AVID was. I think it's the same thing Chrissy says. Not sure if you mentioned in previous papers, which if you did, I wouldn't change it. But if you didn't actually spell out what it was, I would probably go ahead and do that. I couldn't tell if it was, what is it?
So it is a program that our district, my school has had it since I've been there, but our district is implementing it school-wide. And so it's like a multifaceted thing. So we actually have an AVID class with an AVID teacher who like has kids and they're in there and they're learning strategies and they're learning how to organize themselves and they're learning about colleges. And then they are, they can actually get scholarships through it. And then there's the part where we implement it in our classroom where it's like, they call them AVID strategies. So there's different graphic organizers we can use. There's one-pager designs. There's things like Frere models.
Yeah.
And like with our lesson plans, we have to put in what's called WICR, writing, inquiry, collaboration, organization, and reading. And we have to distinguish where we're using each part of that, which is also a part of AVID. So it's like this umbrella that encompasses a lot. I did talk about it in one of my other tasks. So that's where it gets a little confusing. And when you said that, I was like, yeah, that's probably where it would be better. That's why I wish sometimes we had the whole thing, but then at the same time, it would be a lot.
Yeah. Thanks for explaining that. But I also said, well, it makes sense now when you say you want to be an AVID school. So it makes sense now. I also thought that when I was looking at the helpful hints, it was asking how are your teachers going, how are you going to know that your teachers are actually teaching what they should be? I forgot what part that was. I think that was under the formative or summative assessment portion. I saw that there wasn't really anything to measure whether or not you would know or how you would know that the teachers were doing or holding up their end of the bargain. Because, as we teachers do, we say we will do something and we'll go and do whatever we choose to do.
Yes.
Guys, it said my meeting's going to end in 10 minutes, but I put longer than that up there. I didn't think we took that long.
It's okay. Mine's the same thing. You'll just have to, if it kicks us off, we'll have to just jump back on using the same link. And
Okay.
like how we did when it happened to me, it did the same thing.
Okay. Sorry.
Cool. And then for leadership, I thought your leadership was shown throughout the paper in multiple ways. And as I stated before, you really understand your teachers and the way your school works by creating that drive, which was a really good idea. I don't know whose idea it was, but that was I'm going to use that idea. And then your grammar and mechanics, I did everything else from this point on is mentioned within the
Right.
talk that I sent back to you in the comments. So you said it may have been a little bit wordy. There were some places that it was wordy. I did also make some comments about the APA and the flow of it. I did some of the tone became a little bit conversational, and I did mention where you could, like a place or two where you could actually make it a little bit more formal
Yes,
than
ma'am.
conversational. But that was also again left in your comments. So other than that, it was really good. Any
Thank
questions?
you. No, ma'am. Thank you.
Awesome. You guys can see we've done this a lot, huh?
Mhm.
All right,
Yeah.
Chad. Where are you? Okay, Chad. I did think that your content was aligned to the rubric. I think you showed that you understood again the parts of an action plan. I like that you allowed for it to be places where it could be revised and edited. And then you showed that you could work with your team as well as the administrative to come up with an effective start. I thought that your strength was under the indicators of success. It was really well thought out. I like that you provided time for teachers. Oh, time. That's supposed to say time. Sorry, edit that for me.
Okay, yeah.
Provided time for the teachers to reflect and allowed them to create assessments for their specific classes, because I think you're in high school. Not everybody teaches the same thing, regardless if it's ESELL, ESOL, whatever you want to call it. They all teach different things. I was a little bit confused by some of the activities and how you aligned them with your goal. I think on one of your sentences, you had a short-term goal of 15 to 20 minutes. I think that was your first action step on your action plan. And it said 15, 20 minutes, they will work on a worksheet, but then in which they would be filling in like a vocabulary, fill in the blank, match the picture or something like that. But then you said, you dismissed the activity of fill in the blank. So I was a little bit confused by what you actually meant. Maybe you were visualizing one task and then described another, I guess.
That's exactly what I was doing. I
That's
was thinking of a different task, but I was writing about that task. And after revising it like 7 different times, I was like, okay, I'm moving on. And it ended up staying like that. And I'm glad you caught it, because I went back in and fixed it.
And then I noticed that in your paper, I think you said in Appendix B, there was a relevant activity, and I have no idea what you were talking about. Matter of fact, I would look at your appendix and then go back in your paper to try to figure it out. I did figure out some of it, and it did make sense when once I did it like that, and I had to read it a few times. But I think that you were missing something. I just didn't see how it aligned or something like that. I think you definitely showed your leadership skills by suggesting certain activities and dismissing others. It's easy for teachers to fall back onto something that they know. And I think for you to suggest, no, we're not going to do that, it kind of forces us as teachers to think differently. Not saying that that's what happened in your case, but just as a leader, you want to do things like that and access to think differently. There were some errors in your mechanics. Again, that was commented on in the paper, which I sent back to you. Same thing with your structure. I think it was organized. Obviously, it was in a way that makes sense. There were some things that were missing. And again, I said that inside of your comments too. I think I said that in your comments, hopefully.
Yeah.
And then same thing with your APA format. It should have, hopefully I made it a little bit, and please change. It says issues within test citation. It should say text. Guys, I was sleepy when I was doing this, so forgive me, okay? I was like laying down and so getting it done.
Yeah, I got you.
Thank you. I hope you understood what I meant.
I did. I did.
Any questions or anything?
No questions. Everything you caught. like I said, with all the drama going on with school and everything else, I was thinking one thing, writing something else, and focused on too many tasks at one time. But I went back through and corrected those, and hopefully it gets through Dr. Bullis and on to Dr. Church. But other than that, thank you for your feedback. I found it very, very helpful.
Great.
Okay, so I guess I am last.
3 minutes and 26 seconds. So, whoops.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to just go ahead and stop this and start it again? Because I'm gonna
You
need
want-
more than 3 minutes.
Okay, when I do it, is it gonna record? Like I need to do something to make sure this is recording, or I just go back to it later? I mean, make sure I, give it time to convert, or
I think you can hit stop recording. It will automatically start converting on its own, right?
so I go ahead
Yeah.
and do that now, and then we'll restart it again.
You probably have to
Um,
or something. I don't know.
come back in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, let's
That
try.
way I
to
can
do
use
that.
the bathroom and get some water.
Sure.
Okay, so
All right.
we'll stop recording and then come back in 5 minutes.
All righty. Thank you.
You're still